me, that whole Me Too thing is just that it feels like it's like been a certain nightmare. Like I didn't realize that these things were unacceptable, and how they held me down, you know, all the years of just, you know, staying in my place and being cute and not being threatening and, you know, laughing when someone says something incredibly inappropriate instead of, that's really unacceptable. You just made me feel uncomfortable. Just the fact that I feel like I could do that now, you know, and not be considered a bitch or anything, you know, just to say my truth. You know,
you feel like you would now, and you wouldn't have say
I never would have thought of it. I'd just been like, anyway. I mean, I was in really bad auditions sometimes when people would would start on me, and it would take all my power away. So ultimately, I wouldn't be able to get the job. It was like kryptonite when someone starts to like really hit on you in a kind of a workplace environment. For me, because inside I was angry and I was like, I want to get this job. Why are you, you know, putting me in this uncomfortable position, taking away my power? I would just, like I said, I would just like giggle and like, you know, kind of cringe and ultimately not be able to get the job. So for me, that's what's great, is just the ability.
Did that happen to you frequently? Was it?
It happened to me enough. Well, and it was always obvious when a director was shopping for a girlfriend. I mean, they weren't just shopping for someone to have sex with; they were shopping for a girlfriend. And I. You know,
I was about to say, like, are you sure, Matt? You know, she's listening.
Well, no. Because the difficult thing about that is that I met my husband. He directed me, and he cast me as the perfect girl. And then we're celebrating 29 years. So sometimes it works out.
Well, that's called consensual, I believe.
Yeah. And it was after the movie was wrapped.
Small
It
difference.
didn't happen in the audition process. Like,
right.
You know,
right.
But I definitely felt it. And the people that this happened with, the girl who was cast in the part that I was auditioning for ended up being their girlfriend for a little bit of time. So it was a creepy feeling, and I just feel great that now you're not considered crazy or, you know, like hysterical or something, that you can actually say, that makes me feel uncomfortable, can we not do that? And they'll be like, oh, okay. Wait, I could get sued, I better stop. You know, I had an agent that told me that there were only 3 roles I could play: virgins, whores, and mothers. And I was like,
it sounds gnarly, but it's true.
Kind of true. And so that's how they do it. So if you write anything in between, that kind of represents you know, and that's maybe why people love Back to the Future, because I played a virgin, whore, and a mother all in the same movie. Honestly. And so, you know, that's what's so great about the new diversity in storytelling and in business, is that it's gotten boring. The same people doing the same business model, and the same people telling the same stories over and over again, and looking at the same gorgeous 2 two white people kissing when they're 30, you know, and 17. And then when the guy's like 75 and the girl's 30. And, you know, when you get diversity, you get new business, you get new stories, you get new inspiration, and you also appeal to the real America, which is incredibly diverse. And that's what's so exciting in business and in film. I mean, I was so excited to be able to tell a story of a 23-year-old woman written by a 23-year-old woman.
I think it's also interesting when because essentially making movies like running a small business, kind of. And I think it's interesting, and I don't know how you guys feel, but when you run a small business, the other kind of dingy corners of things that get illuminated for you, like the casting process for this was so interesting. I'll just say quickly, like, I have 5 love interests in the movie, lucky me. And one of them is Brandon T. Jackson, who, I don't know if you guys saw Tropic Thunder. He's like a brilliant comedian, and he's such an amazing actor. And I remember pulling him aside when we started shooting, and I was like, why did you do this movie? Like, you're only shooting on it for like 2 or 3 days. It's not a big part. We had to have like a really horribly awkward sex scene that we shot, and like it was not like an incredibly gratifying role, you know. And he got $1,000. We're in the money. That's why they pay us the big bucks. And I really pulled him aside and I genuinely asked him, because I was like so honored that he wanted to do the film, and he was like, oh, well, as a person of color, I've never ever been offered a romantic lead. And I was like, huh? What do you, please elaborate. And he was like, I'll go in on audition for them, but I've only ever been offered rapper, drug dealer, pimp as a person of color. And it's like, these are the things you find when you try to like cut your own path, and you make these discoveries when you are inclusive and are working with people who come from different places than you, who have different stories to tell. And like, that just blew me away, you know, like, and he's so hot. Like, why is he not playing? Everyone Google Brandon T. Jackson right now. Like, he is stunning.